Welcome to another session on forging operation. There are mainly three basic categories of forging operation. One is open die forging, second impression die forging, and third is closed die forging. Let's look what is open die forging. Open die forging typically involves placing a solid cylindrical workpiece between two flat dies and reducing its height and by compressing it. In the figure, we can see that there are two open dies and the cylindrical workpiece of H0 height is placed in between. A force F is applied and the length of the workpiece reduces. This is an example for open die forging. Now let's look what are the advantages and limitations of open die forging. The major advantages of open die forging are they are simple, inexpensive dies, wide range of sizes can be produced, good strength, and all types of hammers and presses can be used. These are the major advantages. The limitations are only simple shapes can be manufactured through this. It is difficult to hold close tolerances. Machining is necessary in this process. The production rate is lower. Poor utilization of materials. In impression die forging, the die contains cavity or impression that are imparted to the work part. In the figure we can see the lower die is stationary and the upper die is movable. The workpiece is placed in between the two dies. On applying the force F, we can see there is a shape change for the material as per the die cavity. The excess material that flows creates a flash in the die cavity. This is known as impression die forging. Next is closed die forging. It is similar to impression die forging. The workpiece is deformed between two die halves which carry the impression of the desired final shape. The workpiece is deformed under high pressure in a closed cavity. They are mainly used for smaller components. The process provides precision forging with close dimensional tolerance. Closed dies are expensive. In the figure we can see the top and bottom dies. There is an ejector pin to remove the finished material from the die cavity. There is also a flash gutter and a flash LAN, and later on the flash that is produced is removed from the product. There is another operation known as flashless forging. As we all know, the impression die forging and closed die forging causes flash to produce, whereas in flashless forging no flash is produced. The work part is completely constrained in the die. There is no excess flash created. The figure we can see that there is no flash created by this process. Now let's look at coining operation. Coining operation is mainly used to produce coins, medals, jewels, etc. In coining operation, impressions are produced on the workpiece or blanks by keeping them in the die cavity. In the figure we can see there is a punch used to create the impression on the blank. Very large pressure is exerted, approximately 1200 to 3000 megapascal. Next operation is skew rolling process. It is used for making ball bearings. Round rods is fed into the roll gap and roughly spherical bolts are produced by the action of rotating rolls. The figure we can see that there are two rolls rotating in opposite direction. A round rod is passed in between the two rollers. The round rod is skewed between the two rollers and finished bolts. As we stated earlier, there are two working temperatures for forging process. One is hot forging and other is cold forging. In hot forging, material is above its recrystallization temperature, whereas in cold forging, increased strength from strain hardening is caused and it takes place in normal room temperature or below the recrystallization temperature. Another important topic is regarding die design. The design of forging dies depends on the following factors: the strength and ductility of workpiece materials, sensitivity to strain rate and temperature, frictional characteristics and forging temperature. What are the parameters for forging die design? The first one is draft angle. There are two types of draft angle, external and internal draft angle. It is marked with an arrow there. These draft angles are provided on all sides of forging. These draft angles are provided for easy removal of work from the dies. Next parameter is the parting line. The parting line is shown by the arrow. It is the line where the die halves meet. There are three types of parting line: straight, symmetrically cranked and asymmetrically cranked. Next parameter is the corner and fillet radii. As we know, the sharp radii and fillet increase the tendency of forging defects and higher die wear. So, sharp corners have to be avoided and the size of radii and fillet should be kept as large as possible. They are shown in the figure using arrow marks. We know flash is the excess metal that squeezes out between the dies as they close. So the dies has to be produced to create as less flash as possible. The other parameters are web, the horizontal space, the rib, the vertical space, and the trim lines, that is the boundary lines or the maximum extent of the original die design from where the flash is removed. As we discussed earlier, the quality of the forged parts are superior to the cast parts because after harmonic process there is change in the crystal structure. In the figure we can see the original structure is a coarse grain structure, and after forging and after plastic deformation, elongated grains are produced along the part profile, and the recrystallization causes equiaxial grains and new fine grains, which makes them superior to the casted product. How can we check the quality of a forged part? There are mainly three processes that we take for quality checking. First one is visual inspection. Visual inspection are used for checking defects like surface cracks, hot tears, blowholes, metal penetration, etc. It is carried out by naked eye or by using magnifying glasses. Next is geometric checking for shape and dimension. Dimensional accuracies are checked by this process. Next is non-destructive testing. There are destructive testing as well as non-destructive testing. In non-destructive testing, the finished product does not alter its shape or they are not destructed at the end of the testing process. It consists of radiography, magnetic particle inspection, ultrasonic inspection, dye penetrant and fluorescent penetrant inspection, etc. What are the major causes of the defects? The defects are caused by defective forging material, faulty die design, improper placement of metal in the die, improper heating, wrong forging methods, uneven cooling of the job after forging. Let's look what are the defects caused by forging. First is cracks. They occur due to uneven heating, forging at low temperature or incorrect cooling of the forged part. Next is lap. Lap forms when metal folds over itself while forging. Next is dirt, slag and sand. It is a inclusion of dirt, slag or sand in the ingot. Next is blowholes. Blowholes may remain in the forging if they are present in the ingot. Pitting defect. Small depressions on the surface of forge caused when small oxides are not removed from the surface. Next is cold shut. Cold shuts are small cracks occurring at the surface. It is caused by poor die design. Next is mismatching. Due to improper alignment of the upper and lower dies, mismatching may happen. Some of the forging defects are shown in the figure. First set of figures shows laps formed by web buckling during forging. The remedy for this is increasing the thickness of the web. The second set of figures shows internal defects caused by oversized billet. What is forgeability? Forgeability means it is the capacity of a material or a capability of a material to undergo deformation by forging. What are the factors affecting forgeability? The basic lattice structures affects the forgeability. Face-centered cubic lattice metals are more easily forgeable than followed by body-centered and then hexagonal closed packing structure. Higher working temperature improve the forgeability. Metals with high ductility will generally have good forgeability. Here are some of the tests to determine the forgeability. First is upsetting test and second is hot twist test. In upsetting test, upsetting operations are done at various temperatures and strain rates. In hot twist test, metal rod is twisted at various temperature.